Alright guys, I managed to find the new Sonic Forms pack. So, this is a pretty cool one. We've got a Sonic Adventure 2 styled Sonic with the soap shoes, which they're not called the soap shoes here. I think they're calling them grind shoes. But we have that one. We have a new Werehog figure, which is really exciting. I didn't think we'd ever get another one of those. And then we have a Supersonic figure. It's neat. There's the side of the box. It's got the three figures with the little ring around them. And then we have our Supersonic, Werehog, and Sonic with grind shoes, because soap shoes is a licensed name. And then the other figures in the current wave that's out right now, I'd really like to get my hands on that Fang. I'm gonna have a hard time tracking him down, I think. And then the other side of the box, all the legal stuff on the bottom. So let's get this box open and get a better look at these action figures. Alright guys, now that we have the figures out of the package, we can take a closer look at them. We'll start out here with Supersonic. This is the exact same figure that was released a couple years ago. So he's got the same articulation, the head, the shoulders, the wrists, legs, knees, and ball joint ankles. He's got 11 points of articulation total. And there's not really anything different from the previous release. He's got good sculpt. His quills look good. They're pointing in the right direction. My figure specifically has this little bend here that was a warp from the packaging, but other than that, everything looks good. Paint looks good. I'll bring in the original figure here. There is no difference between them. The only thing I can find is that back here on the foot, this white lettering and numbering down here is not here on this new figure. But other than that, I mean, they're the exact same figure. So if you missed the initial release, now is a good time to get them. It is a good figure if you don't have it, so try to hunt it down if you can, if you want it. We'll go ahead and put him there. And next we'll take a look at the Sonic with grind shoes. I'll probably always call them soap shoes, but no, Sonic with grind shoes, for legal reasons, I'm sure. It's the same as the first released Sonic figure, except my figure here has a very loose head. I noticed this as soon as I got it out of the package. It's kind of annoying, but his head is just super loose. So everything else is fine though. Again, the same 11 points of articulation, head, shoulders, wrists, legs, knees. The feet are still ball joints. The main attraction for this figure is the shoes. So these shoes look really good. They did a really good job transitioning these into 3D plastic. And they did a really good job picking out the details in paint. I mean, they've got the yellow around the border, the black spots, the gray. These shoes are definitely worth the purchase if you want this figure. It's just the figure itself. Like I said, super loose head. And also, this is more of a nitpick than anything, but I don't know why they chose this specific sculpt for Sonic. Again, this is the initial release, so I'll put him here. He is harder to stand than the basic figure. Here is the very first release of Sonic. There's that. I will say, this initial release of Sonic did have like this weird, you can kind of see the lines on his belly, the way they applied that decal for the paint. This new Sonic doesn't seem to have those lines. It's a lot smoother of a belly. So that's nice, but other than that, like, same figure. Here's the original shoes, you know, just the basic Sonic shoes. Seems to stand a little easier. But, yeah, they got the smile. I don't know why they used this figure for this re-release, though. I would have used this figure, or at least a variant of this head sculpt. This is the Sonic with the grinning mouth. This is more akin to the adventure artwork that was used back in the day. So, not sure why they didn't go with this. We could have got a variant with this smirk on, like, this side of his face instead. And then the new shoes, just to mix things up a little bit, instead of getting the same Sonic figure, just with different shoes. But, I digress. So, I might actually swap the shoes over to this sculpt. But, this is a good figure, all things considered. If you don't have a Sonic figure at all, definitely get this pack. I mean, this is a prime Sonic figure to have because of these shoes. I don't have the GamePro Sonic Adventure 2 Sonic, but I don't need it now. I would like to have that figure, but I just can't bring myself to pay over $100 for a bendy figure that's probably going to have his arms and legs break at some point due to the wire not holding up to the test of time. So I know he looks awkward, but it's hard to get that figure to stand. Next is the Werehog. I saved the best for last, in my opinion. I mean, the shoes are cool, but this is an entirely new figure, and it's been probably over 15 years since we've had a Sonic the Werehog figure. And this is a really good figure. He does have better articulation, so he has a ball jointed head so he can look up and down and side to side. He's got his shoulders, he's got the elbows, his wrist twist, his legs move forward, which is great. His knees bend, and he's got the new articulation for the feet that the Sonic 3 figures had. So he can swivel here at the sock, and he has ankle pivot where the shoe joins the joint, and they can move up and down as well. So he's got a lot of articulation in that foot. You can get him into some pretty cool poses. The sculpt work looks great. All of his hair's sculpted in. The back spikes here on his head actually have dual molded quills, so this is not paint. This is a separate piece of molding, as well as the fur around his wrists is a separate piece of molding. The fingernails are all painted. The face is open mouth sculpt with the teeth and the tongue painted in. So if you look closely enough, you can actually see the tongue's painted pink and the back of his mouth is painted red. So he looks really good. The eyes look good. His ears look good. It's just a really well sculpted figure, really well put together figure. He's got the spikes on the bottom of his shoes. He does have a spot where you can put him onto a base. This figure set does not come with any bases, but it is there if you have a spare base laying around somewhere. Yeah, it's nice to finally have another new Werehog figure. I'm really surprised that we got this. The Sonic Adventure 2 figure, or at least the Grind Shoes Sonic figure, I'm not as surprised about because we did get those shoes in Sonic Forces with the Avatar creator back in 2017, and we got them again with Sonic Frontiers. So the past couple years we have got to see these shoes again, thankfully. But it's been crazy looking for Werehog merch. A couple years ago we had the Funko Pop release, and there's been a couple plush toys. But aside from bootlegs, it's been a minute. I do have the original Werehog figure to compare him to, so I'll bring that in. And this figure has seen better days, I will say. Seen better days for sure. This is the Jazzwares Werehog figure, and he does have a slightly different color palette. He had more of a lighter color palette than this darker blues. He had more teal. And he had the fists. This one has the open hands. I do like both. The fist worked for Werehog because he had a lot of fighting sequences in his levels. Try to get him back here so you can see the full figure. The big flaw with this figure from Jazzwares is his feet, or his legs, only went up and down and then had the knees like this. So you couldn't make him run. You could twist his leg like this, but then the knees would bend inward and he looked like he had a broken foot. So as cool of a figure as it was, it did have some flawed articulation that is now made up for in this new figure. So as far as which one looks better, I don't know. Again, this one's had a lot of wear to it, because here, let me try to tilt this camera up a little bit. This old figure's had a lot of wear, but he did look really good when I first had him. Again, that's not even his original nose. It is definitely still a good figure. The new one, though, is also a very good figure. So if you never got the chance to get that older Jazzwares figure, I mean, he's super expensive. You might as well just get this new one. The new one's in scale with all the new figures anyway. There we have it. I am super happy with this new 3-pack. This is a very good set of Sonic figures. Alright, so thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Have a great day, God bless, and I will see you all next time.